If you want insane deals on legit PC keys from great developers, use my Fanatical link down below and start saving yourself some money. Alright, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Bigfry and I want to talk to you today about MORDHAU. It's this new medieval fantasy action combat game made by the guys at Triternian. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Developed and published by them. This is an indie title. Multiplayer medieval slasher. You can create your mercenary and fight in brutal battles where you will experience fast-paced combat, castle sieges, cavalry charges, and more. And I have to say, if you guys are looking at this, a lot of you are going to say, hey, this looks like Chivalry. And you're right, this is definitely made in the same vein as Chivalry. People are touting this as Chivalry 2.0. And I have to say, being an old school vanilla Chivalry player, I loved the game back in the day. This is definitely a nice upgrade to that. It's nice to be able to play it with a little bit more smooth combat, not as clunky with the way the sword swings. I have to say, a lot of the things they've done have just made the game better. It's not that they've changed it so much, but it just feels like a better experience. The game has 4 game modes: Frontline, Skirmish, Team Deathmatch, Deathmatch, and as far as I can tell, there's a Battle Royale mode. I played it yesterday and I couldn't seem to actually get into a game through the matchmaking. Their servers are taking an absolute shit kicking. I had a couple of moments last night while I was playing where my ping would be spiking to over 300, but it was only for a few minutes at a time. I actually had to leave one of the games and then just find a different server to play in. For the most part, I feel like they're handling the onslaught of players pretty well. The game is currently in the top sellers, and there's articles coming out where the dev said, we did not anticipate this many people jumping in, which to me just speaks volumes on the quality of the game. It's currently sitting at mostly positive, so it's getting a lot of high reviews, and I just have to say, well fucking deserved. The graphics, the gibs, cutting players' heads off and getting their arms and legs chopped, and just watching all the crazy deaths. There was one moment when I jumped in really early on where I was taking on like 3 guys at once, just blocking, parrying, and just trying to swing. And I actually blocked and swung at this player, and another player on his team was riding a horse by and like ran him over. I fucking died laughing while I was on stream playing. I'll just play the clip here, you guys can watch it. Fuck! Yes! Any game that makes me sound like a fucking pterodactyl when I laugh is a crazy game, and I had such a blast playing last night. I got about 4 hours last night. I'm playing more tonight as well, so I can record gameplay for this video. We're gonna get into the stuff that I don't like about the game in a little bit here, but one of the things that actually caught me by surprise when I first realized it was the character customization. You can like work on your face, you can add a whole bunch of different like character customization options, different like hoods, armors, you can customize the fucking weapons. Basically, when you play the game, you unlock gold every time you like either level or finish a match or whatever, depending on how well you do. And then you can take that gold and like buy things for your character class. The customization is deep as fuck in this game, which is something I wasn't expecting. I basically how I found this game is I saw the streamer Clean playing it, and then I was like, oh shit, this looks like Chivalry, this is amazing. And then that's pretty much all I heard about it. So I kind of jumped in blind, just knowing that it's like Chivalry, but it's a lot better, and there's a lot more features. Now, my favorite game mode in this game is called Frontline. It's basically an objective-based game mode, red versus blue. You fight for your flags, and then in the middle there's like objectives that you have to cap. And it's basically like a castle siege, but sometimes you're on a map that's not a castle, so I can't really say that, but it feels like a more in-depth game mode. Now, the reason why I like this over the other ones is because at least, first off, this game is chaotic as fuck with 64 players running around, sometimes like 48 players. It gets super crazy. So with Frontline, at least it's a little bit more focused on the objective-based gameplay instead of just like swinging for the fences and just like respawning, cutting, respawning. At least there's something to do outside of just straight up murder. But the reason why I think this game mode is a little bit flawed is because even though there's a few objectives on a smaller map, if let's say I'm on blue team and I end up taking the center objective point, the red team can then fight and take that back. So it becomes a little push and shove. Basically, one team gets ahead, then the team starts getting beat back, and then it goes into your spawn, and then you're constantly fighting for basically ground on a map. And while that sounds great, I feel like they could do with another game mode that is very similar to the likes of a rush mode in Battlefield, where if I'm on blue and I'm attacking a castle siege, my first objective would be, okay, let's get the trebuchets. They're currently being controlled by the other team. So you fight, you control the point, you get as many kills as you can, and that objective is now completed. You now have your castle siege weapons, which you have to now escort to the next objective, and the enemy team cannot beat back the objectives that you gain. So you could add more objectives on the way to a castle siege, where at the very end, after they got the trebuchets, they got like reinforcements, and they like recovered some of like special weapon ammo and stuff like that. They could do a whole bunch of objectives where it's basically one team has to defend, attack and defend, and if the team actually completes the objective, that objective is no longer valid, they can't fight for it anymore, and you move on to the next one. I feel like a larger scale combat that ends in an insane attempt at a castle siege or something like that would be fucking phenomenal in this game. And I feel like that's kind of what Frontlines is, but it's still just falling a little bit short of that epic battle that I think this game could have. I was saying this in my stream last night, and somebody actually came in and said that this is something that they're working on. Until we see it, obviously I can't judge it, but I feel like if that game mode comes out on a great map that's balanced right, that would be the pinnacle gameplay mode of this game. MORDHAU is dope. I'm having a fucking blast playing it. It's currently $30 right now, Canadian, which works out to be about $26 American. A lot of people might say that's a little bit too high. For the amount of actual like in-game content in terms of maps and modes, I could see somebody making that argument for it being a little bit too expensive for what you get. But I will say I think the gameplay in this one just makes up for it 100%. It's one of the most satisfying, I would say, not even like melee games, because like I'm a first-person shooter guy. But sometimes it's nice to just put down the M4, pick up a fucking short sword or a cleaver, and just start slicing and dicing. And it's so satisfying to get kills in this game. I had such a blast streaming it last night. And again, like I said, I'm an old Chivalry player, but I feel like most people jumping into this, learning the controls in the tutorial, and then going into a 64-player battle are going to have an absolute blast. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Is this something you have played? Were you at the stream last night? What do you think of the gameplay in the video here? I appreciate you guys so much. I am going to be leaving a positive review for this game on Steam. Finally, a game that Bigfry fucking likes. I get it. This channel's super negative. But yet again, I feel like when developers drop nice gems like this, it's nice to give them kudos and give them a time in the spotlight. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If you guys enjoy the video, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, like the video, and please share it on social media. Trust me, it helps. We're always fighting against the algorithm because I don't care about swearing. I curse. I'm kind of a dick, and YouTube doesn't really like it. I'm not family friendly, so they can't promote me to children. But if you guys do enjoy this kind of content, I would urge you do all those things. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Bigfry, and I'll see you on the next one.